My name is Nicole Neily, and I'm the president of Parents Defending Education, a membership association that gives parents the knowledge and tools they need to be effective advocates for their children's education. Yes, books have become a flashpoint in schools over the past few years. Yet headlines and research papers by activist organizations have intentionally muddied the waters between World War II book burning and what's happening in America's K-12 schools. If you hear one thing today, know this: families' concerns about books in schools are not book banning. First, the book issue is a curation issue. It should be obvious that a book that is part of a lesson plan in a second-grade classroom is more concerning than a book that can be voluntarily checked out from a public library. And also that sensitive topics read to children at very young ages is more concerning than high schoolers learning about the human body in health class. But today, merely suggesting that kids who believe in Santa not have unfettered access to graphic sexual novels is tantamount to murder. In Connecticut, one resident said that the school board's desire to put parental consent rules in place for a few books described as obscene and explicit was, quote, a matter of life and death. It's not. When we do hear from parents about books, the phrase that we hear the most frequently is age-appropriate. Radical indeed. School boards across the country cut the mics on parents who read passages from these books, stating, this is inappropriate, there are children in the room. Yet those same books are being provided to children in schools. While it may seem politically convenient to scapegoat parents, I ask you to read some of these explicit paragraphs and look at these sexual images with your children or your grandchildren, and then tell your constituents whether you consider such content educational. As a society, we don't put Playboy in kindergartens. This isn't considered a book ban, but common sense. Strangely, media coverage over this issue frames any discussion at all as tyranny. It is disingenuous at best and deceptive at worst. Classrooms, schools, and libraries have finite space and must select which materials are on display at any given time. Nor do they have unlimited budgets, so must prioritize certain purchases over others. How these decisions are made and who is involved in that process is a matter of public accountability. Yet when people ask questions, they are crucified. Pretending that objections to minors accessing explicit sexual content is a threat to liberty and literature is a straw man and a distraction from real concerns about the quality of children's education and whether students are safe in school. Second, the book issue is a parental awareness issue. It is not partisan to assert that children do better when their families know what's going on in their lives. This isn't rocket science. The more information parents have, the better they can support their kids emotionally and academically. America has a youth mental health crisis. Yet while schools lobby for increased mental health funding, for which the federal government has provided hundreds of millions of dollars, they are exacerbating that problem. When kids are given assignments beyond their comprehension level that even adults find challenging, violence, war crimes, rape, incest, and more, it should come as no surprise when children become depressed or hopeless. Books from schools should be discussed with loved ones, perhaps to provide historical context or another perspective. Parents know their young learners' quirks and preferences and whether certain material might resonate with or would be appropriate for their loved ones. These decisions may differ between children in the same family at the same age based on factors like maturity and sensitivity. Children deserve an education that meets their specific needs. Yet when families ask to simply know when children have what their children have access to, or may wish to put guardrails on material for children of certain ages, they are pilloried in the public square. Such public flagellation is intended to not only extract a pound of flesh from the perpetrator, but to send a message to any other parent with similar reservations. Speak up, and the mob will come for you too. Far too many schools keep families at arm's length, which could not come at a worse time. Kids would benefit if the adults in their lives worked together in their best interest. But families are now considered adversaries, not even entitled to basic information about their children. In Wisconsin, one school district's teacher training session stated, parents are not entitled to know their kids' identities. That knowledge must be earned. My organization has documented over 1,000 districts across the country with parental exclusion policies, which state that families don't have a right to know their child's gender identity in a taxpayer-funded school. And finally, it is not evil to want to be involved in your child's education. Every time a parent is falsely accused of wanting to ban a book because of reasonable concerns about subject matter appropriateness, neighbors are pitted against each other based on dishonest premises. This is a deliberate attempt to demonize parents and to chill both their speech and activism. 20 years ago, if a 6-year-old went to school and talked about sex, teachers would assume that that child was being abused. In 2023, children are not only learning about sex at school, but are being told to keep secrets from their families as well. Please stop mocking parents. Please stop name-calling. Please listen to the families who want their children to learn basic grammar rather than be policed on pronouns, who want their children to read at grade level and not taken out of class for political rallies, who want their young children's innocence to be preserved for a few years longer than an activist academic might insist. We are your constituents, too. Thank you.